Welcome, dear listener, to Whispers of the Night. Tonight, we open the doors to a gentle new tale, the Library of Forgotten Beginnings, a story meant to soothe your thoughts and guide you softly into rest. Before we begin, take a moment to settle into your space, loosen your shoulders, and allow the quiet of the night to wrap around you like a warm blanket. If you enjoy these peaceful journeys, I gently invite you to subscribe to Whispers of the Night. By subscribing, you help keep these calming stories flowing night after night, and you'll never miss a new whisper, a new dream, or a new world waiting just for you. And if you feel comforted here, a little tap on the like button helps others find this sanctuary too. Tonight's story glows with moonlight, memory, and soft wonder. In the Library of Forgotten Beginnings, you'll walk beside Helena as she discovers a magical library where forgotten dreams sleep. Lanterns drift with gentle wisdom, and every corner hums with the warmth of second chances. Let your mind drift slowly into its world. Let each word help you release the noise of the day. Now take one more deep, slow breath. You've arrived. You're safe. You're welcome here. Let us begin our journey into the Library of Forgotten Beginnings. Before Helena's story unfolds, let's ease your mind and body into a state of deep, peaceful rest. This is your time, a soft pocket of stillness carved gently into the night. Begin by finding a comfortable position, lying down or settled into a place where your body feels supported. Let your hands rest loosely by your side. Let the weight of your head sink into your pillow, and if your eyes aren't closed yet, allow them to flutter gently shut. Take a slow, unhurried breath in. Let it fill your chest. Hold it for just a moment and exhale softly, letting the day melt away. With your next breath, imagine a gentle wave of calmness beginning at the top of your head. It moves slowly downward, smoothing away any lingering thoughts, any leftover worries, anything that doesn't need to follow you into the night. Feel this wave drift across your forehead, softening your brow, relaxing the tiny muscles around your eyes. Let your jaw unclench. Let your tongue rest quietly. Let your face loosen into a peaceful expression, one meant for dreaming. Another deep inhale, slow and soft, and let it go. The wave moves downward to your neck and shoulders. Let the tension slide off you like petals falling gently from a flower. Your shoulders sink into the mattress a little more, a little deeper supported, held safe. Now the warmth travels down through your arms, your elbows, your wrists, all the way to your fingertips. Your hands grow warm and heavy. Breathe in again and release. Allow the calm flow through your chest. Feel your heart settle into a slow, steady rhythm, a quiet, gentle beat, reminding you that you are here, you are resting, and you are allowed to let go. The wave continues down your spine, easing every muscle. Your legs growing softer, heavier, your knees, your calves, your ankles, all the way to the tips of your toes. Your entire body is now warm, grounded, and deeply relaxed. Imagine yourself standing at the entrance to a moonlit library. its tall wooden doors carved with delicate patterns that shimmer softly. There is no rush, no expectations, only the quiet promise of comfort and wonder. As you breathe in, imagine the cool, silvery scent of old stories and endless possibility. As you breathe out, imagine releasing everything that weighed you down today. Here, you are safe. Here, the night is gentle. And here, the library of forgotten beginnings waits to welcome you. Allow yourself to drift peacefully open, ready as we step softly into Helena's story. The Library of Forgotten Beginnings. The door that opens only at night. Helena had walked down this hallway hundreds of times, often late in the evening when the house settled into its familiar nighttime quiet. The wooden floorboards creaked softly beneath her feet, the same gentle sound they made every night, like an old friend clearing its throat before sharing a memory. She never paid much attention to this far end of the hall. There was nothing here except shadows, the muted glow of a distant lamp, and the ordinary hush of night. But tonight felt strangely different. Perhaps it was the way the silence seemed to draw her closer, or the soft whisper of something unseen that brushed past her ear as though calling her name. Her steps slowed when she noticed it, something she was certain had never been there before. A door, not new, not modern, nothing carved into existence recently. It was old, impossibly old, as though it had been waiting far longer than the house itself had stood. Helena blinked and stood still, letting her eyes adjust to the dim hallway. Light. The door was wooden, but not the ordinary smooth, varnished wood she was used to. This one looked alive in its age, like the bark of a tree that had witnessed centuries. Intricate patterns spiraled across its surface, unfamiliar symbols that shifted and shimmered like constellations rearranging themselves across the night sky. A faint, almost impossibly soft glow radiated from the carved symbols. It wasn't bright enough to illuminate the hallway, but enough to catch Helena's attention like a soft whisper in the dark. The glow pulsed gently, like the slow heartbeat of something ancient. Helena felt a shiver, not of fear, but of recognition, though. She didn't know why. The air around her changed the closer she stepped toward the door. It grew cooler, carrying with it a scent she couldn't mistake. The scent of old paper, dried ink, stories preserved for so long that the years themselves had seeped into them. Another scent layered beneath it, moonlit air, crisp and faintly sweet, like the outside world just after midnight. Her hand hovered above the shimmering patterns. She didn't remember touching it, yet suddenly she felt the surface under her fingertips. The wood was warm in a way that suggested life. As she traced one swirling line, the door gave off a soft hum, subtle enough to be felt more than heard. Helena hesitated. This door wasn't supposed to exist. She would have noticed it long ago, she was certain of that. And yet, it looked as though it had always belonged there. A quiet part of her mind whispered that opening it would change. Something, maybe, something small, maybe something grand. But another part of her, the part that had always been drawn to the unknown, urged her forward. The breeze that drifted from the tiny gap beneath the door carried with it a promise, something waiting, something calling out for someone who still believed in wonder. Helena exhaled slowly, letting her confusion fade into curiosity. She pressed her palm fully against the carved surface. The glow brightened, not blinding but welcoming, like moonlight reflected on rippling water. And then the door opened on its own, swinging inward with quiet grace, as though acknowledging her presence. A soft gasp escaped her lips. Before her was a library, unlike anything she had ever imagined. The hallway's dim light fell away behind her, replaced by a vast, breathtaking expanse drenched in silvery blue moonlight. It wasn't harsh or cold. It was gentle, soft, like the light inside a dream. It washed over towering shelves that stretched so high she could not see their tops. Books of every height, thickness, and age filled them, thousands, perhaps millions, arranged with care or perhaps with magic. The library was silent, but not empty. Silence here felt alive. It felt like presence, like the quiet breathing of countless untold stories. Helena stepped inside, and the air shifted around her. It was cool, soothing, carrying whispers of old pages turning somewhere in the unseen distance. The wooden floor beneath her feet was smooth, polished by time rather than hands. She walked further, her heartbeat matching the steady hush of the room. Her footsteps made no sound, as though the library absorbed every noise, wanting her to move freely without disturbing its slumber. At the center of the grand room stood a circular table carved from dark wood, its surface covered with scattered papers and open books. Helena approached, curiosity pulling her forward. Some pages glowed faintly under the moonlight, displaying moving ink that rearranged itself like flowing water. A story seemed to be writing and rewriting itself before her eyes, shifting possibilities until one path settled softly onto the page. She reached out, but the ink stilled at her proximity, resting calmly as though greeting her. A soft wind drifted through the aisles, though there were no windows. It carried whispers, not of voices, but of ideas, formed beginnings, quiet hopes, forgotten dreams left waiting for someone willing to discover them. Helena felt her heart tighten, not with fear, but with something she had long ago buried beneath routine, responsibilities, and the weight of ordinary days. Wonder. Shelves curved into spiraling corridors, forming labyrinths of stories that seemed to stretch endlessly. Some books had covers worn with age, their titles fading into memory. Others were pristine white, blank, as though waiting for a story yet to be written. Helena felt drawn to these empty ones. They seemed to watch her, as though recognizing something about her she had not realized herself. She walked deeper into the library, passing ladders that reached to heights she could not fathom and balconies that seemed to appear and vanish depending on where she looked. The architecture wasn't fixed. It shifted softly, naturally, like a dream rearranging its own boundaries. A large window, if it could be called, that took shape along one wall. It wasn't glass. Instead, it appeared to be liquid moonlight. Through it, Helena saw swirling slowly, galaxies blooming like luminous flowers, and something like pages drifting gently across the celestial expanse. She stepped closer, mesmerized. The moonlight moved like water, forming ripples as though inviting her to reach out. But before she could touch it, another sensation pulled her attentions, something softer, quieter, but deeply familiar. A book, not any book, her book. It lay on a pedestal made of pale stone, glowing faintly as though aware of her presence. Its cover was simple, dark, without any title. Yet Helena felt her breath hitch. She didn't know how she knew, but she sensed instinctively that the book held something connected to her. Perhaps a memory she had forgotten. Perhaps a beginning she never realized she abandoned. With slow steps, she approached. The library grew even quieter around her, as though holding its breath. She reached out and placed her fingertips on the cover. The book responded instantly, warming under her touch. The glow brightened, spilling a soft, luminescent halo onto her hands. The cover opened on its own, the pages fluttering gently until they settled on the first page. It was blank, but only for a moment. A faint line of text appeared, written in elegant strokes of moonlit ink. A story forgotten begins again when the one who lost it chooses to return. Helena's heart thudded in her chest. She didn't understand the words fully, but they resonated deep within her, stirring memories she couldn't quite grasp. Coast of childhood dreams, perhaps, or old promises she once made to herself. The next page flipped softly. More text appeared, shifting like mist until it settled into clarity. Welcome back, Helena. Her breath caught. The library knew her, or perhaps it had always known her. She stared at the words, waiting for the next line, but the page remained still, patient. It was waiting for her. Her thoughts drifted to the glowing shelves behind her, to the shifting patterns on the door, to the moonlit air that felt almost like a voice guiding her here. Had she been here before? Not physically, perhaps. In dreams, in forgotten hopes, in the quiet moments of her childhood when she imagined worlds beyond her own. She didn't have answers, but she felt no fear, only a strange sense of belonging. Slowly, she closed the book, cradling it gently as though it were something precious. The pedestals glow dimmed softly, as though bidding her to explore further. Helena turned back to the vast expanse of the library, letting her eyes sweep over the endless shelves. She felt the weight of curiosity settle in her chest, familiar, almost childlike feeling she hadn't experienced in years. Every corner of this place seemed to hold a beginning. Stories long forgotten, stories never told, stories waiting for someone who cared enough to discover them. Helena stepped forward again, deeper into the moonlit labyrinth. She didn't know what she would find, but she felt certain of one thing. This library had opened for her. It had chosen her, and as she moved between the shelves, her hand brushing lightly against the spines of countless stories, the whispering breeze followed her like a gentle guide, somewhere far behind her. The door she had entered through slowly closed, but not with finality. Rather, like a promise. Only at night would it open, and tonight was only the beginning. Shelves that whisper old first pages. The moment Helena stepped deeper into the library, the moonlit air around her shifted, as though acknowledging her presence. The grand stillness she had first felt was no longer just silence now. It felt expectant, attentive, aware. She could feel the atmosphere subtly reshaping itself. The way a room becomes warmer when someone steps inside after it has been empty for hours. The shelves, tall and curved, like crescent moons caught mid-ris, stretched in graceful arcs that guided the eye toward corners that seemed to dissolve into gentle silver haze. Helena felt as though she had stepped into the interior of a moonlit dream, where every outline was soft and every possibility was only just beginning to unfurl. She moved slowly, letting her fingers trail lightly over the nearest shelf knot, touching, only hovering close. Even that small movement stirred something. The book's spines closest to her quivered ever so slightly, like leaves responding to the faintest breeze. Then she heard it, a whisper, delicate, barely audible. It drifted through the air like the sigh of someone speaking from under a thick blanket. She turned her head, expecting to see someone tucked between the shelves, but no one stood there. Only books, hundreds upon hundreds of books. She stepped closer. A second whisper followed, this one more distinct. It wasn't words she could understand, not fully. It sounded like beginnings, loose, wandering fragments of sentences, a phrase halfway spoken, a heartbeat of a thought that hadn't yet found its shape. She leaned closer to one of the glowing books, her breath catching slightly. The whisper grew clearer, but only in emotion, not in language. It felt curious, timid, hopeful, like the gentle spark of something that had wanted to become real, but never had the courage. Helena extended her hand. The moment her fingertips brushed the air beside one of the books, not even touching its spine, its pages rustled on their own. A soft, luminescent sheen rose from the fragile paper edges, shimmering like moonlight caught in thin glass. The whisper grew into a soft murmur, then a phrase formed, drifting delicately into her thoughts. Once, a girl saw the ocean for the first time. The voice faded. Helena blinked, startled. It felt as though the line had been spoken directly into her mind, half remembered, familiar somehow, though she could not place when or where she might have heard it. She turned slowly, taking in the curving shelves around her. The books were glowing faintly, not bright, but strong enough to outline their shapes like lanterns tucked into alcoves. They pulsed in subtle rhythms, each with its own quiet heartbeat. Another whisper floated toward her, then another, then another. Helena took a cautious step forward. Her footsteps made no sound, as though the library absorbed the noise to keep the whispers soft and undisturbed. More murmurs drifted across her path, threads of almost stories, barely formed beginnings that had once belonged to someone's dream, someone's attempt, someone's lost hope. She paused and slowly closed her eyes, letting the whispers surround her. They weren't telling full tales. They were telling potential, the beginnings of what could have been. A lantern that waited for a name the moment before she said yes. The wish he buried under the willow tree, a door that opened only when Helena opened her eyes again. Her chest tightening with a strange emotion she couldn't immediately name. Nostalgia, perhaps, or melancholy, or something deeper, something she felt in her bones, but could not translate into words. She took a slow breath and walked farther down the aisle. The shelves curved gently around her, guiding her along like a crescent moon, drawing her into its arc. The glow intensified slightly as she moved, as if the books recognized her presence and wanted her to hear them more clearly. She felt the whispers brushing against her skin, fluttering like a memory someone else had left behind. Helena paused beside a shelf taller than the rest, where the books were arranged in varying shades of silver, gray, and soft midnight blue. She lifted her hand again, letting her fingers hover above a narrow book with edges that glowed like morning frost. Instantly, the whisper rose from within it. There was once a promise she made to herself. Her breath faltered. She didn't know why it struck her so deeply. It wasn't a complete sentence. It wasn't even directed at her. Yet something about those words felt like the faint echo of a vow she had once made and forgotten. She reached out with trembling fingers, brushing lightly against the spine. The whisper grew stronger, yet still incomplete. It offered only the beginning, nothing more. Helena stepped back, her heart thudding softly. Why only beginnings? She looked around slowly, letting her eyes travel over the countless glowing books, each radiating faint but steady moonlight. The whispers echoed from every direction, forming a quiet chorus of unfinished thoughts. She realized the truth in a single, quiet moment. These were not the stories people finished. They were the stories people once started. Ideas that flickered briefly before being abandoned. Hopes that dimmed before they could become something whole. Dreams that lived only long enough to become beginnings and then were forgotten. The library of forgotten beginnings, that was its nature. It gathered the first pages, the spark moments, the delicate threads that never became tapestries. It remembered what people forgot. It held the breath before the first step of countless journeys, preserving them in silver blue silence. Helena walked along the curved shelves, feeling her understanding deepen with every whisper that brushed past her. She felt humbled and yet comforted. There was a gentleness to this place. It did not mourn the unfinished stories. It cherished them, protected them, held them softly, like fireflies in cupped hands. As she continued down the aisle, Helena noticed something else. Some books glowed brighter when she neared them, their whispering intensifying. Others dimmed slightly, retreating into quiet. The library knew her. It felt her emotions, her curiosity, her thoughts. It responded to her like a living thing. She found herself wondering what whispers her own forgotten beginnings might contain. Had she left behind stories she once wanted to write, ideas she once nurtured but abandoned, dreams she once carried before life's responsibilities had quietly taken their place? The question lingered in her mind, soft but persistent. She rounded another crescent curve, entering a section where the shelves grew shorter, arranged in spiraling layers that reminded her of seashells. The air here felt warmer, gentler. The books whispered more softly, like shy children peeking at her from behind curtains. Helena lifted one book gently, though it weighed almost nothing lighter than air, as though it contained only the memory of a page. The cover shimmered with faint strokes of moonlit ink, forming a symbol she didn't recognize. When she opened it, a single sentence appeared, written slowly across the paper, as though forming while she watched. She once believed she would grow up to hold the stars. Her breath caught in her throat. She had believed that. Long ago, she didn't remember when she stopped believing it. She didn't remember when that forgotten dream slipped quietly out of her hands. The sentence felt like it belonged to her hand, yet not entirely. Maybe countless children had once thought the same. Maybe countless beginnings shared the same spark. She closed the book gently, letting it whisper itself back to rest. The glow dimmed as she placed it on the shelf again. As Helena moved deeper, the shelves curved inward, forming an alcove. Here the whispers softened into a low murmur, gentle and rhythmic, like waves brushing a quiet shore. The light brightened just enough to guide her steps without revealing everything. At once, she felt wrapped in calm, silver warmth, her pulse slow and steady. In the center of the alcove stood a circular stand similar to the pedestal she had seen earlier, except this one held not a single book, but many. They stacked in uneven piles, some open, some closed, all glowing faintly. The air around them shimmered like heat haze. Helena approached cautiously, feeling the weight of their presence settle over her shoulders like a soft shawl. The moment she reached out to touch one, all the whispers in the alcove quieted at once. Every book stilled. Helena froze. The silence was complete, not frightening, but profound. She felt as though the entire library was waiting for her to choose something, waiting for her to remember something, waiting for her to take a beginning that belonged to her alone. Her gaze drifted slowly across the stack until it landed on a thin book near the center. Its glow was gentle, not bright, not demanding. The kind of glow that belonged to something patient. Something that had waited a long time. Helena picked it up. The cover was cool beneath her fingertips, and the ink patterns shimmered like soft moon ripples. She opened it slowly. The first page contained only one sentence, written in delicate silver script that glowed faintly against the paper. Before she forgot, Helena once dreamed of a journey she never began. Her breath stopped. Her heartbeat echoed in the quiet. She stared at the words, unable to speak, unable to move. Something deep within her stirred a memory, not fully formed, a longing half buried, a beginning she once imagined but never followed. She read the line again, a single page, a single beginning, left behind by her younger self. The book warmed, gently in her hands. Almost reassuringly, Helena's vision blurred slightly, not from sadness, but from the emotion of being remembered by something she had forgotten. She closed the book slowly and held it to her chest. Around her, the whispers resumed soft, warm, like the library was exhaling again. As Helena stood in the moonlit alcove, surrounded by countless glowing beginnings, she realized something with breathtaking clarity. These shelves weren't simply whispering forgotten stories. They were whispering her way forward. And somewhere in the vast silver labyrinth of beginnings, the story meant for her, the one she was meant to find, or write, or rekindle, was waiting patiently. Helena stepped back from the alcove, the thin book held gently in her hands. The whispers followed her like a soft tide. Her journey into the library had only just begun. The Lantern of Lost Ideas. Helena had barely stepped out of the alcove of whispering shelves when she noticed a warm, spolden flicker drifting gently above the aisle. It moved slowly, like a firefly, suspended in thick, velvety air. At first, she thought it might be another glow from the books. Another soft pulse of moonlit ink shifting through the shelves. But then it drifted sideways, smoothly, deliberately turning toward her with a kind of shy curiosity. A lantern, not held by a chain, not suspended from the ceiling. It floated freely, glowing with warm light that contrasted beautifully against the silver blue hues of the moonlit library. Its soft radiance looked almost like candlelight inside a small glass sphere, except no candle burned within. The flame flickered without consuming anything, dancing gently as though alive. Helena stilled, watching it with quiet wonder. The lantern tilted slightly, as if nodding toward her. For a moment, she simply stared captivated, unsure whether to approach. It hovered patiently, drifting forward an inch at a time, until it was only an arm's length away. Its light washed softly over her face, warming her cheeks like sunrise after a long night. She raised a tentative hand. The lantern responded immediately, glowing brighter with a warm, amber shimmer that traveled through the translucent glass frame. Helena felt something inside her chest loosen like the release of a breath she didn't realize she had been holding for too long. "What are you?" she whispered, though she had no expectation of an answer. The lantern hummed, a low, soothing vibration, gentle as a lullaby, with no melody. It drifted backward, slowly, as if inviting her to follow. Helena took a step. The lantern glided farther down the aisle, guiding her in slow, deliberate motions, its light casting soft, rippling shadows that danced along the curved shelves. Behind her, the whispers of forgotten beginnings softened into the backdrop, fading into a calming murmur. Ahead, the air felt warmer, touched by the lantern's glow. As she followed, Helena noticed that the light did something strange to the space around it. When the lantern drifted past a shelf, tiny sparks flickered from the book's spine, silver motes of light, rising like delicate dust, disturbed by warm breath. Each spark shimmered briefly before fading into the air, leaving behind a faint echo of emotion. Curiosity tugged gently at her. She quickened her pace until she walked beside the lantern. Its glow pulsed in greeting. When she reached out, letting her fingertips lightly brush the rim of its glass frame, the lantern brightened again this time, releasing a swirl of shimmering sparks. They rushed upward in a graceful spiral, suspended above the lantern like tiny stars caught in a slow-moving whirlpool. Helena gasped softly. The sparks began to form, shapes not solid, not clear, but almost like memories trying to take form. Images made of light, flickering softly. She saw the outline of a small boat on water only, the beginning of a scene, a thought never fully shaped. The image dissolved. Another spark swirled, reformed into the first line of a poem. "If I had one moment more," written in soft, luminescent script that faded before the sentence could finish. Then another appeared, a child's hand reaching toward a seedling just beginning to sprout. The image shimmering with unspoken longing. Helena's chest tightened. These weren't random memories. They weren't stories that belonged to the library alone. They felt deeply personal, yet also universal fragments of ideas once born in someone's heart, cherished briefly, then set aside. "It shows abandoned ideas," Helena murmured, more to herself than to the lantern. The lantern hummed in affirmation, its glow warming the air between them. It drifted closer, as though proud she understood. Helena exhaled slowly, feeling something within her soften. The lantern was gentle, inviting, but never demanding. It didn't push her to remember anything painful. It didn't force anything upon her. Instead, it offered warmth, space, permission not to regret unfinished things. She didn't know why the thought struck her so deeply. Maybe because she herself had abandoned many ideas, dreams whispered in childhood, projects she started in quiet eagerness before life swept her into routine, moments she once believed would shape her but didn't. The lantern flickered softly, almost sympathetically, as if it understood. Helena opened her palm and held it near the lantern's surface. It shimmered brighter, releasing another delicate burst of sparks. This time, the sparks drifted slowly, her hand like dust motes caught in sunbeams. When they touched her skin, she felt warmth, gentle, nostalgic warmth, a sense of déjà vu, like recognizing a dream she hadn't thought about in years. The sparks formed images again, an unfinished letter addressed to no one, yet important. The first sentence of a story she once scribbled on a scrap of notebook paper as a child. The shadow of a dream she had at 12, about traveling to a place she didn't know existed. The lantern revealed only beginnings, nothing more. Just the first sparks of ideas once born and then left behind. She swallowed softly. There was no regret in those memories, not from the lantern, not from the library, not even from herself. Instead, there was gentleness, acceptance. These beginnings weren't failures. They were simply pieces of a larger life, threads that didn't have to weave into full tapestries to matter. The lantern glided forward again, urging Helena deeper into the moonlit aisles. Books leaned slightly in its direction as it passed, glowing in soft acknowledgement. The shelves curved into new crescent arcs, guiding Helena through pathways that seemed to shift subtly according to her steps. In the lantern's warm halo, the air felt alive, dancing with faint flecks of gold. She followed it to a clearing, an open circular space where the shelves dipped lower, forming a ring around a soft moonlit floor. The lantern bobbed gently in the center, waiting for her. Helena stepped into the circle. The moment she did, the lantern brightened to its strongest glow, yet not harsh, but warm and embracing, like stepping into sunlight filtered through soft curtains. More sparks erupted from the lantern, swirling upward until they formed a sphere of glimmering fragments. Around them both, Helena stood still, surrounded by thousands of tiny, glowing memories, ideas, hopes, dreams, each flickering with its own faint beginning. The sphere shifted gently, revealing images one by one, a crumpled sketch of a place she once wanted to visit, a melody she hummed as a teenager, intending to turn into a song someday. The opening paragraph of a story she began years ago, but lost along the way. A plan she made once, something simple, something small that she never followed through on, not out of fear, but because life had pulled her in another direction. The edges of her eyes warmed, not with tears, but with tenderness. None of these fragments felt painful. They felt precious, sweet, like rediscovering the softest parts of herself she had forgotten to carry forward. The lantern drifted closer, until its light wrapped around her like a gentle embrace. Without fully thinking, Helena whispered, "Thank you." The lantern hummed again, warm, content, soft. Its light shifted, dimming slightly as though calming down after having shown her something important. The sparks around them began to collapse into one another, slowly dissolving into tiny threads of gold that settled into the lantern's warm glow. When the final spark faded, the lantern hovered quietly at her side, as if asking whether she wished to go on. Helena nodded. The lantern turned and floated toward another aisles lower, this time almost walking pace. She walked beside it, feeling calmer than she had in days, months, maybe years. Something inside her felt reorganized, not drastically, not dramatically, but gently rearranged, like books tidied on a shelf that had been leaning for too long. With every step, the lantern's soft humming continued steady, rhythmic, comforting. It felt less like an object now, and more like a companion. It turned into an aisle where the shelves curved more steeply, forming spiral-like shapes that reminded Helena of curled paper or wind-carved stone. The lantern drifted ahead, illuminating countless silver-bound books, each glowing with faint beginnings. But here, the whispers were softer, almost shy. This section wasn't about forgotten beginnings of others. It felt personal, intimately. So, the lantern slowed near a small pedestal made of pale stone. On it rested a single object, not a book, but a tiny glass bead glowing with soft, golden warmth. Helena approached slowly. The lantern hovered close, illuminating the bead until it shimmered like a miniature star. Curious, Helena reached out. The bead warmed instantly beneath her fingertips. Light pulsed inside it, swirling gently like a slow-moving storm of memories. The sphere expanded slightly, not breaking, not bursting, just stretching, revealing a shimmering image within. A much younger Helena, sitting by a window, notebook open, pen poised, eyes filled with quiet wonder. And then, just as young Helena began to write, the image dissolved. The bead returned to its warm glow. Helena exhaled, a small smile touching her lips. She remembered that moment, the morning before school, when she had promised herself she would write a story. She never did. She had forgotten the promise entirely, until now. But the lantern didn't show it to shame her. It showed her so she could remember who she once wanted to be. She closed her fingers gently around the bead. The lantern hummed, a soft, approving note. Helena placed the bead back onto the pedestal, feeling not regret, but peace. The lantern drifted upward again, turning toward the deeper aisles. Helena followed. As they walked, the lantern's glow dimmed a little, settling into a soft amber shimmer that matched her calmer heartbeat. She felt lighter, like something inside her had loosened, like the forgotten weight of old. Abandoned beginnings had been acknowledged and gently lifted away in the distance. The moonlight deepened into cooler blue hues, hinting at unexplored corners of the library. Helena looked at the lantern. It tilted slightly left, an invitation. She smiled softly. "I'm ready," she whispered. The lantern brightened, and together, they stepped into the next stretch of the moonlit library toward whatever waited beyond the shelves of lost ideas. Her journey was still unfolding. The hall of softly sleeping stories. Helena stepped forward, her hand still tingling from the gentle hum of the lantern of lost ideas. The soft glow behind her faded into a warm memory as she ventured deeper into the heart of the library. The air shifted slowly, as if exhaling, welcoming her into a place where time did not rush, but moved like drifting clouds. The aisle narrowed into a long corridor lined with tall stone archways, each one carved with swirling patterns of moons, leaves, and waves. They gleamed faintly under the soft ambient glow that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at all. At the end of the corridor, the space opened into a vast circular chamber. Helena paused at its threshold, breath catching in her throat. The hall felt impossibly still, not silent in a hollow, cold way, but in the warm hush of a safe winter evening, the moment just before sleep. It was a silence that held her gently, like a blanket laid across her shoulders. The room was enormous, far larger than any space that could logically fit inside the building she had entered. A domed ceiling arched high above, painted with muted constellations that drifted ever so slightly, shifting their places as though stretching after a long rest. Thousands of tiny golden specks glimmered, not static like stars on a mural, but alive, breathing softly in their slow shimmer. Below them, arranged around the hall like sacred monuments, were the oversized books. Some were as long as dining tables, set carefully upon elegant marble stands. Others were round and thick like old-fashioned atlas tomes. Some were stacked in sets of 2 or 3, each book gently pressed against the next, as if snuggled together. Their covers, soft leather, rough fabric, smooth lacquered wood, even warm stone, rose and fell ever so subtly, as though each book was sleeping, breathing. Helena's heart fluttered with the same feeling she had when she stood near a resting animal, a quiet respect, a tender instinct not to disturb. Yet the hall did not feel forbidding. Instead, it felt expectant, as if the books were dreaming peacefully and would not mind if she joined them. Her footsteps echoed softly beneath her as she walked, the marble floor cool beneath her shoes and patterned with delicate silver lines, tracing old, flowing roots like rivers. She approached the nearest book. Its cover was a soft, faded brown leather, embossed with a suncrest so worn it looked like it had been touched thousands of times. The leather rose and fell in small, steady breaths. She laid her hand gently on top. Warmth pulsed beneath her fingertips, delicate and alive. The book stirred just barely, like someone shifting under a blanket, and then a gentle glow seeped out from the edges of the pages. The glow brightened, opening like dawn through a curtain, and suddenly Helena was surrounded by a forest. Not physically, she knew she still stood in the hall, but the scene enveloped her in gentle light. Tall trees swayed quietly overhead. The air smelled like moss and clean morning dew. The flutter of wings echoed from somewhere distant. It was a story, breathing itself awake, sharing one of its soft dreams with her. Helena watched as shafts of warm light pierced through the canopies, illuminating drifting motes of dust that sparkled like tiny stars. A single path wound through the trees, beckoning. She felt the old ache of yearning, the kind that comes from wanting to step inside a world not your own, simply to rest in its calm. When she blinked, the forest folded in on itself like a closing flower, the glow retreating softly back into the book, which settled once again in gentle slumber. She exhaled a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. Her steps carried her deeper into the chamber. Each book she passed emanated. One with a translucent cover shimmered with the coolness of moonlit lakes. Another, dark green with intricate gold vines, gave off the scent of old gardens. A massive tome with a deep blue cover breathed in slow, heavy rhythms, as though dreaming of oceans that stretched beyond the horizon. She paused at a book that looked older than all the rest, its wooden cover etched with faint lines that resembled the rings of a tree. The breaths beneath its surface were slow and peaceful. When Helena rested her hand on it, there was a long, soft pause, like the deep inhale of someone rousing from decades of dreams. Then light drifted upward like dust illuminated by sunlight. The scene unfurled gently, a quiet morning. Not any morning, but a perfect one. A kitchen filled with warm light filtering through soft curtains. A kettle steaming, a cup waiting, the faint crackle of a fireplace in the next room. The simple, perfect hush of a beginning. It wasn't grand or magical. It wasn't meant to impress. Instead, it was the kind of moment people rarely noticed until it slipped away, the gentle heartbeat of an ordinary day. Helena felt her eyes sting with unexpected emotion. She let the warmth settle around her like the memory of something she once treasured but had long forgotten to revisit. When she drew her hand away, the book sighed deeply, drifting back to sleep. As she continued onward, she noticed something subtle. Each book seemed to respond differently to her presence. Some glowed instantly, as if excited to be seen again. Others took their time, stirring slowly, savoring their rest before revealing their scenes. Some trembled with youthful energy. Others breathed with ancient patience. Every story in the hall felt alive, not just written once and forgotten, but continuing to dream, waiting for a gentle touch to help them unfurl. Helena reached the center of the room, where the floor dipped slightly into a round depression lined with smooth stone. At its center rested the largest book she had yet seen. Its cover was pale ivory, almost translucent, like pressed petals of some forgotten flower. The breaths coming from it were slow, deep, and resonant, like the ocean in winter. Helena felt a tug, a soft, instinctual urge to approach. The hall grew even quieter around her as she stepped toward the center. Every sound, every breath from the other books softened. The air warmed gently, enveloping her in delicate calm. She placed her hand atop the ivory cover. The glow came not as a burst, but as a soft blossoming. Light rose, like gentle steam, swirling upward. Then the scene formed a drifting field of stars. Not the cold, distant stars she saw in the real night sky, but warm, pulsing ones that floated like dandelion seeds. They drifted slowly across the darkness, leaving twinkling trails behind. The field stretched endlessly, peaceful and vast, a place where every star looked like a dream gently asleep. In the distance, she could see shapes, faint silhouettes of stories forming and dissolving like thoughts on the edge of sleep. The silence wasn't empty. It was full of meaning she didn't quite grasp, a warmth that soothed her chest and settled her mind. For a long moment, she simply stood there, letting the stars drift around her. They felt safe, comforting, as though each one carried a memory she might someday need, but didn't have to hold right now. When she finally removed her hand, the stars dimmed softly and folded back into the book's pages. The ivory tone settled into deeper rest, its breathing slow and steady. Helena stepped back, overwhelmed not by fear or confusion, but by peace. These stories, old, unfinished, forgotten, or simply waiting, weren't asking anything of her. They didn't demand understanding or effort. They offered quiet companionship, gentle reminders of moments the world often rushed past. As she walked through the hall again, she felt a deep shift within herself, like a knot gently loosening. The weight she carried, the expectations, the unfinished tasks, the forgotten dreams that used to tangle painfully in her thoughts. They softened, not vanished, but eased, as if the stories themselves had whispered, "It's all right. Rest. You can return to them when you're ready." She lingered among the books, a small cabin window lit by amber lantern light, children tracing patterns in the sand on a quiet shore, a snowy hillside where everything sparkled, a gentle river drifting under willow trees, scenes that didn't push or demand anything, only glowed with soft warmth. Eventually, Helena reached the archway she had entered from, the hall now behind her, breathing in its quiet rhythm. She took one last look back. The books slept on their dreams, undisturbed, waiting patiently for the next time someone needed them. With a softened heart and a lingering warmth in her chest, Helena stepped out of the hall, its peace following her like a gentle echo. The staircase of first steps. Helena stepped out of the hall of softly sleeping, stories with a warmth lingering in her chest. The hush of that vast room still clung to her, like the memory of a gentle embrace. She walked slowly down the next corridor, uncertain of what she would find, yet trusting the way the library seemed to guide her, not with force, but with gentle invitations, as though it understood her hesitations, even before she did. The air shifted subtly as she moved. The scent of old paper softened into something crisper, cooler, like the moment just before dawn, when the world prepares to begin again. Faint glimmers reflected off the walls, which were now narrower and smoother, carved from pale stone that caught and held even the slightest light. Helena followed the corridor's curve until it opened into a quiet, moonlit chamber. At the center rose a staircase, crescent-shaped, luminous, and impossibly delicate. It spiraled upward in an elegant arc, floating without any visible support. Each step crafted from translucent material that looked like carved moonlight. They glowed softly, a gentle, pearlescent shimmer that brightened and dimmed like tiny breaths. Above, the staircase disappeared into a soft haze of silver mist, as though leading into the sky inside the library. Helena took a small, instinctive step forward. The moment her foot brushed the marble floor at the base of the first step, the step brightened, not sharply, but with the warm hush of a candle being lit in a quiet room. The glow pulsed outward like a ripple through still water. Helena felt a hum deep inside her chest, the same kind that shivers through a person at the start of something meaningful. She reached out and placed a hand on the banister, a smooth, cool rail shaped from shimmering silver wood, warm beneath her palm, like something alive. The first step illuminated fully, and with the light came a vision. It rose from the surface like mist taking form, swirling gently until it shaped a small scene floating above the stair. Helena leaned closer, breath caught. The vision showed a young girl standing before a canvas, brushes trembling in her hand. She hesitated, shoulders tight, fear flickering in her eyes. Then, with a single breath, she dipped her brush into paint and lifted it, the first stroke trembling yet determined. That tiny action, the first fragile step, bloomed into color that flooded the canvas. Helena felt the spark of emotion behind it, courage wrapped in uncertainty. The vision faded, leaving behind a warm glow that lingered in Helena's thoughts. She placed her foot on the step. It held her gently, the material firm yet soft under her weight, and the entire staircase hummed as the energy traveled upward in a soft cascade. The second step lit up. Another vision formed, this one of a man with silver hair standing beside a dusty shelf full of untouched journals. His fingers brushed a thick notebook, the pages blank and waiting. He sat, opened to the first page, and wrote his name with a shaking hand. Then another word, and another, the first step toward telling a story he had held close for decades. The sense of renewal swirled through Helena like a breeze. She took the second step. The staircase warmed beneath her feet, encircling her like a soft encouragement. The third step flickered awake. A woman stood at the door of a studio, old ballet shoes hanging around her neck. She looked older than the others, her eyes lined with time and memory. Yet, when she stepped inside and tied her shoes, the world seemed to soften around her. She took her place before the mirror and lifted her foot, the first movement of a dance she had stopped doing long ago. Helena felt the quiet tremble of hope, fragile and determined. With each step Helena ascended, another vision appeared, small stories of beginnings. A child releasing a lantern into the sky for the first time, a student raising their hand even though their voice trembled, a traveler gripping a map at the border of a new land, a person returning to a garden they once abandoned, kneeling to tend the soil again. Soft, gentle first steps, not grand, not loud, but profound in the quiet courage they carried. And with each step Helena climbed, the staircase responded. The glow grew warmer. The air shimmered with silvery dust drifting like fireflies. The space around her seemed to open, not physically, but emotionally, as though each beginning she witnessed made more room inside her chest. When she reached the 8th step, something shifted. The vision was not of a person, but of a single seed lying beneath soil, darkness surrounding it. For a long moment, nothing happened. Helena watched, uncertain. Then the soil trembled faintly, and the seed cracked open, sending out the smallest thread of green. It pushed upward, fragile and determined, toward a light it couldn't yet see. The simple power of that movement, that tiny pushing against the weight of the world, filled Helena with a swelling warmth. Even nature took first steps, she realized. Everything grew from a beginning. She took the step. The staircase hummed, sending a soft glow spiraling up its curve. Each new step lit ahead of her, one by one, not showing the whole staircase at once, only revealing the next instant, the next possibility. It felt deliberate, like the library didn't want her to rush, but to experience the unfolding path moment by moment. As she climbed, visions shifted from others to echoes of herself. On the 11th step, she saw a younger version of her sitting at a desk, fingers trembling above a notebook. The first line she wrote was crooked, unsure, but she wrote it. Helena remembered that day, how uncertain she had been, how she'd felt a spark ignite despite her fear. The memory came with a bittersweet warmth. On the 12th, she saw herself again, older, leaving behind something that had once mattered deeply. She wiped tears from her cheeks before taking the first step into a new place, a new chapter. That first step, painful yet necessary, flickered with quiet bravery. Helena's breath quivered, but the staircase's glow held her. When she reached the 14th step, the vision was not of her past, but of her future, a version of herself she did not yet know. She stood at the threshold of a bright doorway, light flooding around her. She hesitated, hand resting against the frame, her face touched by uncertainty but softened with hope. Though the vision offered no details, no hints of what lay ahead, Helena felt the emotional truth, a future woven with possibilities she had not dared consider. The staircase invited her to trust it. She took another step. Higher now, the air grew cooler but comforting, like moonlight on open water. The mist surrounding the upper part of the staircase began to thin, revealing soft arcs of silver ceiling far above. The staircase felt endless yet gentle, as if it would grow only as far as she was willing to walk. A glow shimmered on the next step. This time, the vision rose slowly, almost shyly. A tiny child stood at the edge of a small pond, staring at her own reflection. She tentatively dipped a toe into the water, squealing when it rippled. Then she stepped again, a bit farther, then farther still, until she laughed with triumph when the water splashed around her ankles. Helena smiled deeply. Even the first steps in joy were steps of courage. Another vision, a person sitting before a blank email draft, apologizing to someone they had hurt long ago. The bravery of reaching out, the tenderness of trying. Another, someone standing after a long, exhausting fall, brushing dirt from their knees and facing forward once more. Another, a person carrying a suitcase, returning home after years away, finally ready to heal. The staircase held countless beginnings, all different, all meaningful. Helena climbed, her steps matching the rhythm of glowing encouragement. At last, the staircase curved into the mist, and Helena stepped into it. The mist parted around her like soft fabric, revealing a small landing at the top. The space looked like a cradle of moonlight, gentle, curved walls formed from translucent stone, glowing faintly. A round window opened onto a vast sky filled with drifting clouds, painted in deep lavender and pale silver. It felt like standing inside a dream on the edge of dawn. In the center of the landing floated one final step, a small, luminous platform shaped like a crescent moon. It pulsed gently, waiting. Helena approached slowly. The glow felt familiar, almost intimately so. She stepped onto it. A final vision rose, not of the past, not of distant strangers, not even of possibilities, but of a single moment she knew well yet had long forgotten to honor herself, standing at the threshold of this very library. Rain falling around her, her hand trembling slightly as she reached for the wooden door. The moment she took that first step inside, the moment everything began. A warmth filled Helena's chest, spreading outward like ripples of light, like a quiet acknowledgement that even small steps matter, that beginnings don't require certainty, only the willingness to move. The vision faded, but the feeling lingered. The staircase responded with a soft, resonant glow that embraced her entirely. The landing brightened, then dimmed gently, as if nodding in approval. When Helena finally turned to descend, the staircase no longer looked daunting. Each glowing step felt like an old friend she now understood. Not a challenge, but a companion. She walked downward, wrapped in moonlit comfort, ready for whatever awaited her below. the keeper of new beginnings. The landing at the top of the crescent staircase glowed with a soft, celestial hush, as though the very air had been woven from moonlight. Helena stepped forward slowly, her breath catching at the sight before her. A glass dome arched above, its curved surface so clear she could see the drifting night clouds beyond it, their edges brushed with silver. Moonlight poured through the dome like a gentle waterfall, illuminating the heart of the chamber. At the center stood a writing desk. It was carved from pale wood that shimmered faintly with each shifting beam of light, as though the moon itself had kissed every fiber of its grain. Upon the desk lay dozens, maybe hundreds, of blank pages arranged in loose stacks, some tied with soft ribbon, others resting freely as if waiting to be chosen. There were quills made of starlight feathers, inks swirling with faint iridescence, and a single candle beside them whose flame burned an unwavering white. But it was not the desk alone that drew Helena's attention. Someone or something was there with her, a presence rather than a person, standing a short distance away. It wasn't solid or sharply defined, more like the warmth of a thought made visible. A soft, radiant silhouette shimmered within the moonlight, faint yet unmistakably attentive. It watched her with an expression that felt like a smile, even though no face could be seen. The air around it vibrated with calm reassurance, the way the air around a hearth feels warmer even before you step near it. Helena did not feel afraid. She felt welcomed. As she approached, the presence seemed to nod, a gesture that was not a movement but a gentle shift in the light. The chamber responded subtly to the moonlight, brightened a little, brushing the desk with a glow that deepened its invitation. It was as though the library had brought her here for this exact moment. The keeper of new beginnings. That was what Helena felt instinctively this presence was. She didn't need an introduction. The library had been guiding her since the first moment she stepped through the mysterious door. Every whisper, every glowing page, every floating vision had been preparing her, leading her to this rooftop sanctuary nestled within moonlit stone. The presence drifted closer, its glow expanding like soft breath across the room. Helena thought she heard something, a delicate hum, a soothing note, held as if the keeper were encouraging her to breathe, to feel, to settle. She inhaled deeply, letting the cool, silvered air fill her lungs. Only then did she truly take in the space around her. Shelves curved along the circular room's perimeter. But unlike the towering shelves below, these were low, reachable, gentle. They were filled with blank journals, some bound in deep midnight blue, some pale like morning fog, some shimmering faintly under the moon, all empty, all waiting. Between the shelves stood small alcoves where tiny globes of light drifted like quiet fireflies. Helena realized these were new stories, beginnings formed but not yet written. Ideas waiting to be chosen by someone brave enough to bring them to life. They pulsed softly, as if listening to the room, listening to her, and in the center of it all, the writing desk. Its surface was smooth and warm beneath her fingertips. She trailed her hand across it, feeling a slight vibration, like the heartbeat of the room. The blank pages rustled gently, even though no wind touched them. The keeper hovered nearby, its radiance expanding, folding around Helena like a soft, luminous embrace. She felt a comforting weight settle in her chest, not heavy, but grounding, like being wrapped in a blanket after a long journey. She sat before the desk. The chair fit her perfectly, crafted from the same pale wood, curved to support her back, warm from the lingering touch of moonlight. She placed her hands on her lap, unsure of what to do next. The blank pages seemed to glow with potential, but they also felt daunting. What story was she supposed to write? What beginning was the library inviting her to create? The keeper moved closer, and the candle flickered lightly in response. The presence raised one faint, luminous hand, or the suggestion of a hand, and pointed gently toward a single sheet of paper lying apart from the others. It glowed brighter than the rest, like a small star waiting for dawn. Helena picked it up. The page was cool, impossibly smooth, almost like silk. The instant she touched it, warmth flowed through her fingertips, traveling up her arm, settling in her heart. The sensation reminded her of the staircase's visions, every first step she had seen, every spark of courage she had felt. All of them seemed to gather inside her, quiet but powerful. She glanced at the quills resting in the curved stone ink holder. The one that caught her eye had a feather of pale silver, its edges illuminated with soft blue. When she lifted it, the feather rustled like the whisper of a calm breeze. The ink pot below held liquid that glowed faintly, shifting hues of moonstone and stardust. Helena dipped the quill. The ink lifted onto the tip like a tiny star clinging to gentle night. The moment she moved her hand toward the page, the room shifted. The moonlight dimmed, not shrinking, but focusing, narrowing its glow to spotlight the page before her. The shelves quieted. The drifting lights paused their subtle dance. Even the faint hum around the keeper softened into stillness. The entire library seemed to hold its breath. Helena felt her pulse echo in the silence. She touched the quill to the page, but for a long moment she did not write. Instead, she listened, not with her ears, but with something deeper, listening to the whisper of her own thoughts, her own hesitations, her own quiet hopes, listening to the unspoken things she had carried with her for so long, the dreams she thought she had outgrown, the beginnings she had abandoned, the paths she had been too uncertain to follow. She lifted her eyes toward the keeper. The presence shone with patient warmth, light drifting from it like snowflakes of silver. There was no push, no insistence, only an open invitation, gentle, steady, unwavering, a promise that the story she chose to write did not need to be perfect or complete or even clear. It only needed to begin. Helena looked back at the page. The quill trembled in her fingers. A breath later, she wrote the first word. The ink shimmered across the surface like a stream of moonlit water. The moment the word formed, the page pulsed with a soft glow, faint but alive. The air warmed and the candle flame brightened in approval. She wrote another word, then another. Her hand moved slowly at first, each letter drawn with careful breath, but soon the quill glided more easily. The words flowed, not rushed, not forced, but naturally, pulled by something inside her she had forgotten she still possessed. With each word she wrote, the moonlight brightened. The keeper moved closer, its glow expanding softly around her, the way dawn expands across the horizon. She felt held, supported, guided, not by force, but by the quiet reassurance that this beginning was hers, entirely hers, and that it mattered simply because she had chosen it. Minutes slipped by. Or was it hours? Time stretched gently, bending into the calm rhythm of her writing. Each sentence felt like a breath released, a thought finally allowed to take shape. Every word shimmered with life, pulsing faintly as though responding to her heartbeat. When she paused, the room responded, not with silence, but with a soft, collective inhale, as though the entire chamber, the shelves, the moonlight, the drifting globes of new stories, was reading along with her, listening, cherishing the shape of her thoughts. The keeper's presence steadied beside her, radiating approval. When Helena finally placed the quill down, her hands trembled, not from fear, but from the depth of what she had just created. She looked at the page, now filled with the beginning of a story uniquely hers, something she had carried silently for far too long. The moment she lifted her gaze, the paper glowed brilliantly. The light rose from it like soft mist, dissolving into the air. The words she had written shimmered, then melted into gentle silver particles that drifted upward, swirling as though weightless. Helena gasped, watching as the particles floated toward the glass dome, flickering like tiny stars. The keeper raised its glowing hand. The silver particles gathered, swirling into a small, radiant sphere, like a newborn star. The keeper held it gently between luminous palms, cradling it with reverence. Helena felt a warmth in her chest reflect the glow before her. Her new beginning, her story, her courage shaped into light. The keeper bowed its head, a gesture of honor, of recognition. Then, with a soft breath of radiance, it released the shimmering sphere. It drifted upward, rising toward the glass dome. When it touched the surface, the dome rippled like water, and the sphere slipped through, joining the sky outside. A new star ignited in the night. Helena pressed a hand to her chest. The keeper turned toward her, its warm glow expanding like a smile. Helena knew, without words, that she was free to write as many beginnings as she wished. She could return to this desk, to this moonlit sanctuary, whenever her heart needed to start again. The room exhaled, a soft, gentle sigh of peace, as the candle flame flickered and steadied. Helena lifted her quill once more. The library waited patiently. The moonlight embraced her. The keeper stood watch, calm and ever-present, and Helena, with quiet certainty, began again. Thank you, dear listener, for wandering through the library of forgotten beginnings with me tonight. If this journey brought you comfort, remember to subscribe to Whispers of the Night for more peaceful tales. May your dreams be soft, your rest deep, and your heart light. Good night, and may tomorrow begin gently.